Hey everyone, Mark and Joey back here. Beautiful day outside. If you're a first-time viewer of the show, which we get every day, we're appreciative of that for sure. New people watching all the time. We are from Ontario, Canada. Great golf day today. You're going to get a chance to get out. And we're also going to talk about baseball, which is another great outdoor game. And we're also going to talk about our sponsor, not for long, but CoolEyeCover.com is our sponsor here. Fantastic sunglasses, all price points, all qualities. And boy, when you're sitting out watching a baseball game, you need those eyes covered up. So if you could visit them, we'd really appreciate it. Let's get on to the MLB. And got to tell you, we find it hard to get into the league this early. Like, almost nothing matters in the standings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there are teams running away, and there's about 20 teams you can throw out that aren't going to make the playoffs. But to get really down into day-by-day, play-by-play of the major leagues, man, it's got to get closer to the end where these games make any difference. So there are interesting stories, as always, and we got a few in MLB, which we're going to talk about today. One that's kind of funny, controversial with Russell Martin. And because he spent so many years with the Blue Jays, really is the only reason I even noticed it.
But he's pitched 2 innings this year.
Yeah.
And pitched 2 perfect innings. Had a 90-mile-per-hour fastball out there last night.
Which is a slow walk through a crosswalk these days. Used to be a big deal.
It's almost so slow. I think the players are thrown off by
and
it.
90 miles an hour used to be a big deal.
Throw a changeup, probably throw it 70.
Now it's 100.
But the reason I wanted to bring it up is obviously he's the first guy to ever do that from a positional position. He's not been a great catcher for a couple of years now. He's been really banged up. I think he's still one of the best at working with his pitchers, and that's why they have him there.
Pitchers, at least.
He's a great backup. He can go in and probably really do a good job. Can't hit, though, so that's why
that's really hurt him in that
he's not playing a whole lot. But obviously in 2 blowout games, they've put him in there, and he's pitched 2 perfect innings. It's just become a little bit of a funny story. And I just saw it. I thought I'd bring it up because that's still pretty impressive that these guys who easily hit regular pitchers out of the ballpark, or at least get someone on base, can't even get a hit off this guy. We know it comes down to preparation of it, but it's funny. I was talking to my dad. I was thinking, hey, wouldn't it be smart, since he is kind of not valuable, just keep him out there, maybe teach him a few more things, and put him in a little bit more often. In games you're losing, sure. Maybe in big games you're winning big, too. If you believe you won't give up like a grand slam or something like this other team to get back in, but you obviously pull him before that ever happened. Maybe just teach him a few things. Maybe get him going. Maybe create a decent bullpen pitcher of him since you got him on your roster. Obviously, maybe not full because they brought him in to be a good catcher if need be, as far as working with pitchers and obviously what he can do behind the plate. They brought him in just in case their main catcher went down. That's obviously the goal. But I just thought, hey, he doesn't probably practice much, right?
No,
he's hanging around. Teach him a few extra pitches, and he might become a decent guy.
I'm sure he's probably doing that at practice these days.
Yeah, that's probably why he's good. Yeah.
In reality, as I say to Joey, these guys scout real pitchers.
Yeah.
So
obviously,
it would take no more than a week for them to look at video and know where his main pitches are going, and batters then prep for him, and they're going to crush him. So it's not going to happen. But you know what? It's fun. Sometimes you need some fun. And sports is kind of really serious most of the time.
Right.
So it's fun to have those. The Dodgers are getting beat badly. Rest a pitcher. It's kind of a good story.
Yeah.
We like Russell. I'll tell you one thing. Here's what you should look at when you trade for Russell Wilson. He's worth every dime.
Russell Martin.
Martin. Jesus, I'm into football already. Sorry. Our home team quarterback in Seattle. But Russell Martin came here. We made the playoffs for a couple years while he was here. He's a player. I think it's some ridiculous amount of time.
He's only missed the playoffs.
He's been in the playoffs
twice in his career, and that's with the Jays. So once in his career, that was with the Jays.
So you know what? Go sign him. $6-7 million.
Just
Nothing
to
to
the playoffs.
the Dodgers. Who gives a shit? Put him on the bench. But there's something. And sometimes guys just have magic, right? We were watching. I think it was the last Marvel movie. Which one? Where they had the girl and she says, no, it was Deadpool.
Deadpool. I'm just lucky.
And they're interviewing, and they said, "What's your skill?" I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
So maybe Russell Martin's that, and have him around for that. Maybe throw him in some reliever. He can't catch still. He can't hit his wing, but he can still catch a bit. But for his success rate, I'd bring him in.
It's a great record, obviously, being in the playoffs. All those years, only missing it because he was on the Jays and they were horrible.
Yeah.
But a little bit of a topic here. He's only played for the Yankees, the Dodgers, and then he played for Pittsburgh and the Toronto Blue Jays, which is probably the most impressive part of his career there is how he got those teams to the playoffs. And he really does, because he made those pitchers all get better ERAs, all have better records.
We actually had pitchers who said they wouldn't throw to anybody but him. So
and then we actually got a pitcher who pitched great in Pittsburgh, pitched horrible when he left, brought him to the Jays, he pitched great when he came to the Jays, simply because of Russell Martin. So obviously that's why the Dodgers do have him. But this story of him pitching is hilarious. He's probably just fooling around at practice. They go, we'll put you in there. But I
heard he buzzed one like 95.
Yeah, I think he got one up there.
That's legit.
Well, what's funny is I think a little bit in his head he's going, man, well, why didn't I try so I was younger?
Yeah,
I wouldn't
no
be injured
kidding.
so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
because he's been a pitcher. And that's my thing is how hard is it to make pitchers these days? He's clearly smart. The one thing from being a catcher, see, most of these guys are shortstops, right? Because they got the arm. Being a catcher to pitching, he still notice what batters do.
Yeah.
He probably knows their weaknesses
Well,
really well.
there has been outfielders who come from college as an outfielder and turned into pitchers. I mean,
No, but what about the
you could
catcher
do
to
that.
pitcher? Because he knows batters so well. He knows how to read what's going on.
He's a little bit different because most catchers are stocky, big guys, and it doesn't lead to pitching a lot. They're muscle bound. A lot of things that you don't see with pitchers. So that's why it's hard to transition from that position. But it certainly wouldn't be the first time that a player has been able to show that kind of arm and be able to, like I say, I don't think any of them really make it because once teams start scouting you in video,
Right.
they get to know how you're throwing. But certainly it wouldn't be unheard of at the outfield position, very much like a pitcher as far as their build and they're throwing it hard and they're throwing a long distance, all that kind of stuff. So there's never anything to lose. You pay the guy millions of dollars. He's hanging around practice, like you say, probably just not even doing anything because his whole reason is to stay healthy just so he can be a backup catcher.
Right.
So he gets on the mound, throws a few times, and I say, hey, wait a minute. Why waste a pitcher when we're down by whatever number of runs? We'll just dodge you in.
Really, my point here is that the Dodgers are going to play a lot of nothing games.
Yeah, 'cause
I would
they're so far
just
in the lead
use
already,
him.
yeah.
I'd use him more. It's my point. He's only pitched twice, but I look at the Dodgers record. Obviously, the way they win a lot of games. My point of the whole reason why I want to bring this up is I'd use him a little more.
Yeah, it might be fun.
Give him a little extra pitch here or there, and throw him in there more often to see what he can do.
Yeah.
And like I said, obviously, I'm not saying he's going to be part of your rotation, but you're going to win a lot of games 6-2 if you're the Dodgers.
Yeah.
They're probably feeling that's a little closer now to put a guy like this in. I'm saying maybe test the waters. Just test it a little
8,
bit.
9, 10 runs.
Yeah,
leads.
even maybe
behind.
maybe even a 6-run lead. 8-2, maybe even 6-2. Give him a few pitches, see if he puts anyone on base. But why not? If you can rest your starters, because the Dodgers are making the playoffs, they're going to make a run.
Yeah.
He's just your backup. He's just there for his smarts. He's such a smart catcher. That's why he's there. That hey, if their top guy goes down, it's always tough to find a good hitting catcher anyway. We'll put him in there.
So
he's so good with the pitches. But I'm just saying, I'd like to see him in a 6-2 game just to test the waters a little bit. I think you might be able to save a lot of your pitchers, a lot of health. You're going to play a lot of nothing games if you're the Dodgers, especially near the end of the season.
Well, you play 162 games, my God, all the rest
you know what? I think you'll see him a lot for the Dodgers going forward because they're such a good team. There's going to be a month near the end of the season where they're just going to already be in it, have a big lead in the division. I think you'll see it a lot more. But I just think it's an interesting story. I love to see him adjust. He's obviously had such a great career. To see it kind of dwindle away the way it has for him is obviously tough to see. But he's obviously one of the smartest guys out there. He's huge value Dodger. I just thought it was funny. He has a 90-mile-per-hour fastball.
Yeah.
It's decent out there. And first player ever to go 2 scoreless innings. Not even allowing someone on base.
Yeah.
No one got on base. Didn't walk anybody from a positional player. So very impressive. Let's move on, though. Something more realistic and probably expected, which is the Yankees have now broken an MLB record, hitting hitting home runs in 29 straight games, including 3 against our beloved Blue Jays. Very impressive. They're way ahead in their division. They are looking like the rock stars. They went out and spent all the money to be rock stars. They might get even Marcus Stroman. Rumor is that might be happening. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Not at all.
They're just getting better. They look like the team to beat going rest of the season and the playoffs. This is their time to obviously get their
Well,
World
the funny
Series.
part is you bring up the Yankees. We just went through our NBA and NHL show and going on and on and on about the cap. But there's times when the cap looks like it's realistic. Baseball certainly it. The Yankees spend like $1 billion and our Blue Jays could spend like, I don't know, 250 million, 300 million.
Oakland A's can spend
I don't
40.
even pay attention to the Blue Jays. They're so bad. But anyway, there's a sport that's opposite of the cap. In fact, the whole league is weighed totally how much money you pay, how much money you have. And for me, it's very boring because the same teams are getting the playoffs every year. One odd season where some team seems to put this collection of guys together, but they get gutted the next year anyway, and they never come back. So this kind of gives the impression of why cap works in some ways as far as more balanced league, all those kinds of things that we also love and hate in our other sports. So
well, cap always works because you see other teams get in playoffs more often than other sports than do baseball.
Much more.
I will say this though: the Yankees have spent a ton of money, have not been as successful as they
what
always.
They got one in the last 20 years.
The man with A-Rod and Jeter, I think they only had 2 with Jeter and 1 maybe with A-Rod.
Yeah.
And now here they are spending a ton of money again. But they go for the guys that sell tickets too, which are home run hitters, maybe not your highest percentage guys coming into playoffs to get on base and create runs at certain ways. That's what the Red Sox have now done, which is get a different style of team for a ton of money. As we talked about before, they do Moneyball with billions of dollars. Obviously, a huge advantage. But the Yankees are creating a lot of buzz. They're having a lot of fun out there. They're only going to get better. Yeah. I think they're obviously a team to beat. It's nothing surprising here, but they got these home run guys just blasting off. Every guy on that team can hit a home run. It's ridiculous. Their pitching's pretty good. Actually, their pitching's not even that great, to be honest with you.
You don't need to.
No, but that's what they do, I think, coming in playoff time. That's why they're looking at Stroman and stuff like that. Anyways,
so the opposite side, though, for interest, look at our other two most expensive free agents. Philly's crap now. As they got off this fast start, and now he's not even top.
Real quick, I want to just say I'm picking the Yankees winning the World Series.
Good choice.
Thank you.
You delved deep into that one to come up with the Yankees winning the World Series. So now Philly not playing that great. Bryce Harper's not even on the top of the league for home runs. The other guy, Machado.
San Diego is not doing good, but Machado's lighting it up. So give credit. Right. If you want to do a stat-wise, obviously Bryce Harper sold more tickets, sold more jerseys. Stat-wise, Machado's living up to his money. He's having a great year. Certainly a great little stretch here specifically.
Yeah.
Obviously, team's still no good because guess what? If you don't pitching, it does not matter what your offensive side does. Well, unless I guess if
you got the Yankees.
Well, and I guess they have 8 Machados and 8 Bryce Harpers, so that's a little different. But Machado's living up to money. For statistically, Bryce Harper lived up to his money with jerseys and ticket sales. Both teams are probably going to miss the playoffs.
Right. Which was the point of bringing them in.
Philly has the best chance to make the playoffs still in their division. It's not a high like caliber division, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So they can still get in. San Diego has no chance to get in. That's the way those two big free agents signing go. Bryce Harper, though, having a horrible year, to be honest with you. Most strikeouts in the league.
They start talking about put him on leadoff, and the guy we were listening to on the radio that day because we were in the car when it was announced is just laughing because he has like 98 strikeouts 98 or something. Strikeouts. So you're automatically starting 1 out down. And you're on to your second batter. Like,
I think what they're looking for here is that they're looking for what he did briefly in Washington, which is taking his focus off home runs. And he did that for a little bit in Washington. They've seen it with other players, where other players have gone from, have been home run hitters. They put him in number 1. They talk about Acuna in Atlanta. He's doing that right now, and he's having great numbers. He should always be the leadoff hitter. But it might just hone him in a little bit. He lives on the long ball because that's what he gets paid to do.
Sure.
And when you're in the 4 hole, it's all about 3-run home runs, 2-run home runs, grand slams. I think if you put him in the leadoff spot, he might be able to hone in his bat, maybe look for more singles, doubles, get on base, get the percentage up, and probably even hit more home runs, which I believe he would do too, because right now I think he's over.
With 7, 8, 9 behind him, not many people are on base. So anyway, that's what we're looking at on the other free agents. Is not much is happening there. Their teams are not doing fantastic.
The biggest news right now is look for Stroman to be traded to the Jays.
Yeah.
We believe he's going to go to the Yankees. Otherwise, I don't see many moves happening. The Boston Red Sox got to get something going, though. Man, they're
holding on to mediocre play for a long time.
You know what, man? This is a lot longer than I thought. Yeah. I thought they'd be better by now, but I still have faith that once the All-Star break comes, they'll make the playoffs. They'll be fine. But they will be wild card.
They're going to be wild card. They're going to slide into
that's a big deal now because it's 1 game. So they will be a wild card team. I put that in now. Obviously not a big deal to put that in because the Yankees win the division and be wild card.
Yeah.
But that is a big deal when you look at the fact that they're going to have 1 game.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a pitcher that they're 100% on. They'd want to play in that 1 game. So we'll see what happens with them going forward. But in baseball right now, honestly, divisional winners are separating themselves.
Last story we want to get in. Montreal Expos.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, a team that hasn't been heard of for 25, 30 years out of Montreal that was, at the time was pretty famous because same time as the Blue Jays and the country and all that kind of stuff. But Tampa Bay talking about splitting their games. We're going to do this quick because it's such a farce that just is news. Tampa Bay is not playing half their games in Montreal. The mayor's been on TV already, said this is not happening. So it's just a talk. Tampa Bay kind of raises an issue. I think it's part of it. The owner's trying to get a baseball stadium built there. That's what this is all about.
Yeah,
and he may be successful there, but they're not moving.
So,
certainly not playing that split season.
A couple of things is the idea. I don't think it's the worst thing if you made the cities closer. It's not going to happen with this one, but I think what he's done is maybe going forward in the future, he's maybe going to look at small friends. You think of the Cincinnati Reds, who are horrible. They might be beneficial in a smaller city because as you see, even like AAA teams get more fans because of simply being in the smaller city. So I think he might raise opportunity for future teams on the road. I think it's always going to be hard to do. It's not happening here, but what he does want is obviously a new stadium in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
They're a first-place team or second-place team right now, a wild-card team who can't get any fans who also play in a bad stadium. It's kind of the same thing in Oakland. That's why the Oakland Raiders are actually moving.
Yeah.
And, you just see it. I mean, it's what I like, though, he's finding new ways to create conversation about how to help small market teams.
And
Try something new. Give him credit.
Not,
he's trying something new.
It's not wrong, as we discussed the other day. 160 or 81
is
games
a lot.
Is a lot of season ticket holders to be there on these smaller market teams. Stadium's not great, so it's not like it's a big marquee thing to go to Tampa. When they play in the Rogers Center now here, I mean, it's a big, beautiful stadium. You and I have gone, even though we care less really about the game. It's just a great place to go watch a game. But in some of these other markets, it would be good to have half as many home games. I think they get bigger crowds overall if people didn't need to spend so much money.
I think there's a couple of things that you unfortunately lose in Tampa. First of all, you talk about going to a Jays game. Well, you also get to see if Toronto walk around before the game, after the game. Same in New York, same in Boston. Yeah. These are spectacles that kind of go before and after. Tampa is not really that way. Also, sometimes you get outside in Tampa, you go, I don't really want to go in the stadium. Like, why do I want to go in now?
It's almost like Buffalo Bills tailgating in the middle of winter. They're so drunk they don't want to go in.
Yeah.
Well, Tampa's the beach.
It's too nice outside. Yeah, people go, well, now do I want to go in a dome?
Sit in there for 4 hours.
Why do I want to do that? And so I think he's raising a good point there. And I think, I just think, give him credit, out of the box idea. Yeah. I just think good for him. Good for him for just not complaining.
It's good for
he
baseball.
Goes, I'm going to try something completely different.
Find you a solution.
And try to find a solution to this problem. But I do believe if you had 41 games in Tampa Bay, and they were good, which they are kind of now, and they might be good going forward, you're right. It might bring some interest. It might force them to want to go out there. I just think, hey, one thing I'm going to do, it's not going to happen, but one thing I'll do is say, hey, good for you, man.
Good conversation.
You tried to figure something out. You got your team. Guess what you've done? You got your team more publicity.
Yeah.
It might help the fans come to you with the threat of leaving.
Yeah.
So, hey,
smart
hey, it was worth a shot, and it still might happen down the road.
And two things in one day. Let's wrap this up with the Montreal Expos. Again, a team we haven't talked about in 25 years.
Come back?
Well, not that. But Washington is holding a whole tribute to them, which is really special on Washington's part. This is a long time ago that the team moved. You didn't need to do this, but it's really cool they are recognizing the Montreal fans who, always just the fans who lose. That's the unfortunate part in sports, right? The fans who did attend were always there, were always supporting the team. So, you know what? I think good on you, Washington, for supporting the Expos that moved to your city. I think it's really cool.
And real quick, they were good, right?
Yeah,
when they left Montreal.
They were reasonably good teams. Yeah.
So there's
They won in the strike season, actually. They were the ones scammed out of the strike season. They were the best team in baseball.
Right.
They only got into one half. They had to play one game, I think it was, or 2 out of 3 to see who went on from their division. Okay. They lost that. Okay. But they were the best team in baseball when the strike happened. So it's typical, right? Like the only year that you're that great, they had a strike.
I will say this, though. It's not the first time Washington has done it. They've worn the jerseys before.
Well, I know. It's just amazing. They're making it so far down the line.
They're making it a bigger day, though.
Yeah.
They've added poutine. They got Vladimir Guerrero Sr. going. Yeah. So they've done it before, but they are going to make it a bigger deal. So shout out to them. Bryce Harper mentioned his whole career in Washington, actually, how he wanted to win for Montreal.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny that they believe in that heritage.
Because we're way past the players who played in Montreal moving.
Oh my God.
This is so far gone. These are all new guys.
Yeah. 1990s, right?
Anyway, so good on them. I think it's a great thing that they're doing that for Montreal and the fans of Montreal. And, that's all. We just wanted to comment on it. So MLB will be back when we see